I spent living my early 20s, and before that, basically doing nothing. I was just kind of figuring myself out and what I wanted to do. I mentioned in this channel that I always struggled with overthinking and just finding the confidence to pursue what I wanted to do, because I always felt like I was incapable of actually achieving and doing what I wanted to do. It was a really bad mindset to be around for years in that loophole and just trying to figure myself out and just constantly being bombarded with those thoughts of incapability of continuing and just thinking one day, am I going to be able to do as little as just working a simple job, you know? And it came to a point that I was just constantly overthinking and just living in my head. It sucks that I let all of those years pass, but my father would constantly tell me that those weren't a waste, they were a part of my development, because it was necessary for me to go through those routes and just kind of learn more about myself and find ways to overcome those obstacles until I finally was able to get out of it. So when I look back at it now, yeah, it does make sense. And I do think that those years were important in my development, so I can now sit here and just kind of preach about these things and just help somebody else out there that might be in the same situation. For about 3 to 4 years ago, where I kind of decided to completely change the way I was doing things in my life, a friend of mine approached me and he was like, there's some sort of a program for post-production side of things that is gonna be opening really soon in our hometown. And he gave me the paper thingy with all the details and everything written in it. And he was like, just try it out, you know? I immediately was hesitant. I was like, nah, I don't need it, blah, blah. But then he insisted, he was like, just go ahead and try it. Enough with this, you know, resistance that you got going on with everything that you're doing. So I guess I just kind of needed to hear that pushback. So that's exactly what I did. I went in there. We had like 3 exams that needed to be done, like the English one, the technology one, and the post-production one. So I completed the 3 of them with a really high score, and I got accepted into the program. And the first month was a nightmare. I was unwillingly going and just pushing myself. I didn't want to go, etc., because just the overall thought of socializing and just doing something new in my life would terrify me, you know? Because that's what happens when you live for so long just isolated comfortably in your home with your parents. Is that's how you become, you know? But then after a while it started to become really exciting, because I was like, let me give it a try. Let me try to be more social with people, because at the end of the day I either can stop it here and not go, or just try to do something different for once in my life. I started learning stuff and just connecting with people and networking, and like that I was able to finish the program with the highest score. And then the academy connected me to a post-production company, and that's how I got my second job, which was a proper job to work in a big company. That was a start. I started working remotely from home, but again, it came to a point that it got boring really quick. I was still stuck home. I was still, you know, in the same routines and everything. And by that time, all of my friends and my siblings, they had moved elsewhere, and I was pretty much alone. It was taking a big toll in my mental health as well, to just kind of be me in my room, you know? So I started to consider more the idea of me potentially moving out. But just the idea alone would terrify me, because I was like, I have to encounter with so many new things, you know, cooking and all of these things that I wasn't ready, that I've never done in my life. But then I was like, if I continue thinking like this, then I'm just never going to make a change for myself in life. I'm always going to continue living just terrified of doing something new. So I had a conversation with my father as well, and he encouraged me to just kind of go and try something new. That's what I did. I took the decision to move out, and I moved in with one of my cousins and a friend of ours as well. So we moved to a completely different city, the capital. There's more opportunities there for work and just overall socializing and networking with people. The first month was a disaster, because just the idea of adapting and doing all of these things, it was frustrating me so much. But then I was like, I always wanted to kind of feel more independent and just be able to try these things out. So I started learning cooking, and then started paying bills and just living the life of an adult finally after so long. It started to become really exciting. I know that somebody might say that it's basic stuff, cooking and bills, but for me it was a huge deal, because I felt more independent. I felt like for once I'm being more productive in my life. So by just paying rent, paying bills, working, started to exercise, started to go out a bit more, and just overall socializing with people made my life more dynamic and more interesting, instead of just being stuck in my bedroom for years, you know? And I feel like it did me really well by learning to cook as well, and just do laundry and all of these things. No matter how basic they might be, I feel like they're really essential, because just the idea of me traveling somewhere or moving out would frustrate me and terrify me, because I was like, oh, I don't know how to cook, or I don't know how to do laundry and all of these things. But now that I know how to do them, it doesn't matter where I travel to, I just have the flexibility to get these things done, and I'm not going to be left out in a bad situation, you know? So this was my experience. I didn't really notice this at myself, but then people started to kind of tell me my demeanor changed. I was overall more socialized. I was just overall more different and more fun to hang out around. And it was something really refreshing to hear, because I spent so much time being by myself and just overthinking whether I would be achieving certain things. It came to a point that I stopped believing in myself, that I would not be able to progress in life, get a job or start a career or anything like that, or just socialize with people because of the isolation. I would really encourage people to just get out more, no matter how much you might feel like you don't have friends or you feel social anxiety about these things. I have a bunch of videos in the channel explaining all of those things as well. But yeah, what helped me the most was just moving out, learning this essential stuff, become more independent, attending webinars, etc., because you never know, you might meet someone, you might learn cool stuff, meet cool people, and just engaging with this stuff more made my life overall more interesting and more productive. And yeah, sometimes you just gotta go for it, completely change your routine, go out of the comfort zone. Otherwise you're just gonna be stuck in the same loophole and feel sorry for the rest of your life. So yeah, hope that helps, and I will see you next time.